Hey, what's going on? My name is Michael with IDB. Welcome back. And in this video, I want to talk about iOS 16, the rumors, some of the expected features, and I might toss in some of the features that I wish are coming to this upcoming release as well. So I'll be honest with you, I'm getting pretty darn excited. This is always an exciting time of year as we're building up to WWDC. It's crazy to think that in just a few short weeks, I'll have iOS 16 Beta 1 running on my device. And we're also going to have all the coverage right here on the IDB channel. So make sure you're subscribed and also turn on notifications so you don't miss our first video going live on the 6th of June of iOS 16 Beta 1. You're not going to want to miss it. But for right now, we still have an excellent video for you guys today. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video right now. So to kick things off, the first rumor is with the Health app. Honestly, this is the area where we have the most leaks and rumors. So inside the Health app, apparently we're getting expanded sleep tracking capability. So right now in iOS 15, the sleep tracking honestly is pretty bare bones. It only tells you how much time you spent asleep. And if you use the bedtime feature, it tells you how much time you spent in bed. And that's pretty much it. So it'd be nice if it could take advantage of the sensors on the Apple Watch and possibly tell you what stage of sleep you're in. So maybe it could tell you the moment you enter REM sleep, as most of that data is just based on your heart rate anyway. I feel like this is definitely something Apple could implement. I remember when Apple introduced sleep tracking, they said they wanted to approach it with a more holistic approach and only tell you how much time you spent asleep, as that is the most important thing. And it is important how much time you spent asleep. It definitely is the #1 metric you want to track. However, knowing which stage of sleep you're in and possibly tracking your different sleep cycles could be an important metric for some people. Another rumored feature coming to the Health app in iOS 16 is something called medicine reminders or medicine notifications. So apparently you'll be able to scan in your pill bottles and set up a notification on a scheduled basis on your iPhone. And then when it's time to take a certain medication, your iPhone will give you an alert. I feel like this could be very, very useful for a lot of people. And if you guys pay attention to iOS leaks, you may remember that last year there was a rumor that iOS 15 was going to bring some sort of nutrition or caloric tracker built into the Health app. It never ended up coming. This is just data that you can import from other apps. So this is data that I have imported from MyFitnessPal. But it'd be really nice in iOS 16 if we could have this built right into the Health app. So if we could track how much food or all the different nutrition and the macronutrients we're getting from our foods, if that was built right into our iPhone, it would be way better than using a third-party app. I feel like what Apple has been doing with health over the last few years is really something special. They introduced walking steadiness and fall risk, and they also introduced the ability to share your health data last year. So I just feel like Apple is investing a lot into the Health app, and it's probably one of the most underrated apps on the iPhone. I use it every single day. I love how it tracks all my metrics, and with the rumored features coming to iOS 16, it's only going to be getting better. With iOS 16, we're also apparently getting significant improvements to notifications. So with iOS 15, the only change we really got to notifications are how they look. So they're a little bit sleeker now, and the app icon is a little bit bigger on notifications. But that's pretty much it. We also got focus modes, but that really doesn't change the notification system on iOS. So a reliable Apple leaker has said that we're getting, quote, significant improvements to notifications, and that's pretty much it. So in my opinion, I would really like the notifications on the lock screen to get completely changed, as I really don't like how you have to do this little swipe up to see your old notifications. I feel like notifications could be completely overhauled in iOS 16 and they could be handled a lot better. So one quick side note I want to toss in here is the leaks and the rumors for iOS 16 have been pretty non-existent, and the leaks that have come out are pretty darn vague. So I think this bodes well for what's coming in iOS 16, as Apple and Tim Cook himself have stated that they're trying really hard to cut down on leaks. So I think if Apple is trying this hard to stop iOS 16 from leaking, I really do think it's going to be a huge update, as they want to make it a big surprise in WWDC. So just because there aren't many leaks and rumors doesn't mean iOS 16 isn't going to be a big update, and in fact, I think it's going to be one of the biggest updates in years. So another feature we could see in iOS 16 is car crash detection. So apparently it's going to use the sensors in your iPhone and your Apple Watch combined, and it's going to allow your devices to detect if you've gotten in a car crash. And of course, it's going to know you're in a car based on your Bluetooth and how fast you're going based on your GPS. So I think it's going to be similar to what Apple did with fall detection, as they used a G-force meter in the Apple Watch to detect if you've taken a hard fall, as you can see here. So I really think that this could save a lot of lives, as some people are knocked out unconscious in a car crash and they can't use emergency SOS. So if your Apple Watch is able to automatically detect that you've been in a car accident, it can automatically put you on a call with 911. So like I said, I think this could be very, very helpful for a lot of people and could potentially save a lot of lives. So found inside the code of the iOS 15.5 beta are references to an updated feature inside the News app and updated features for focus modes for a device running newer software. So again, this is very, very vague, but we do know that there are some improvements coming to focus modes and the News app as found inside the code of iOS 15.5. However, we don't know what any of these changes are going to include. So something else that leakers have referenced in regards to iOS 16 is apparently iOS 16 could be the first iOS version that has support in the background for Apple's upcoming AR or VR headset. So this is very similar to, I believe, iOS 8, where that was the first version that referenced the Apple Watch. And as soon as the first beta of iOS 8 came out, some people found in the code references to a wearable device. So I'm thinking as soon as iOS 16 comes out, we're going to find a few hints in the code that are going to point to Apple's upcoming AR headset. So that's pretty cool. So we can't verify the validity of this next leak at all. I honestly don't think it's real, but it's from Leaks Apple Pro on Twitter, and it says, "Be prepared for interactive widgets." So that's kind of cool, and it is one of the biggest complaints I have right now with widgets on iOS 15 is you just can't interact with them at all. So for example, I'd love to have the reminders widget on my home screen and be able to check off different tasks as I complete them. But instead, when I click on the widget, it only opens up the app. So I'd love to interact with the widget more and not have to open the corresponding app. That would be really nice. And apparently this leak is saying that that is coming in iOS 16. So now I just want to talk about some of the features that I wish are coming to iOS 16. One of the first ones would be Quick Note for iPhone. So you may know on the iPad, you can swipe up from the bottom right corner and start writing a note. I wish you could do that on the iPhone. Right now, the closest thing to that is in Control Center. If you have the Notes widget, you can click here and start typing a note. But in my opinion, it would be way faster if you can do it just like you can on the iPad and swipe up from the bottom right corner. I'd also love to have split screen on the iPhone, similar to what we have on the iPad. With the tall aspect ratios on these phones, I don't think we need split screen in landscape mode. However, I do think that we could have split screen in a vertical mode, as on the max size iPhones, there is a ton of screen real estate to run two apps at once. And another thing I'd like to see is a redesigned Mail app. So usually every year, Apple chooses to overhaul an app. And a few years ago, that was the Reminders app. And now I would like that to be the Mail app, as right now I feel like the UI inside Mail is just really bad. I feel like this could have a complete overhaul and Mail could look a lot better, because if Mail honestly doesn't get better in iOS 16, I might just switch to a third-party Mail app. It's pretty bad. In iOS 16, I would also love to be able to change the shortcuts on my lock screen. So I'd probably have like messages here where the camera is, and I'd probably keep flashlight on the bottom left because that is honestly pretty useful. However, we really don't need the camera down here because you can access the camera just by swiping, and you don't really need this extra redundant shortcut here. So I would probably pick a different app to have right here, and let me open it really quickly from the lock screen. And speaking of the camera, in my opinion, we need a complete overhaul to the camera app in iOS 16, because Apple is adding so many features that it's honestly just getting convoluted at this point. So not to mention needing to scroll through the different modes, and with Apple adding cinematic mode now with the iPhone 13, there are just so many modes that you have to scroll through. But also it's kind of confusing. Like, what does this arrow mean? And you tap it and it brings up this UI here, but you can also get this UI just by swiping up. And some of these icons are so confusing, you don't know what they mean. So I feel like the camera app needs a complete overhaul, just so people can understand how to use the camera better. The camera app on the iPhone is supposed to be easy to use, but this really doesn't make any sense. So now I want to hear from you guys. Make sure to comment down below and tell me, in your opinion, what is one feature that iOS 16 needs to bring? So usually I hang out in the comment section for a few hours after the video goes live, so make sure to comment and I might reply. If you guys found this video interesting or helpful, make sure to drop a like on it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Michael with IDB, and I'll see you in the next video.